It's 4 p.m. Cairo local time, and you're now watching Q News. And now we move on to a live broadcast of Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi's press conference with Prime Minister of Denmark.
مسيرات إيرانية تستخدم ضد المدنيين في أوكرانيا وأوروبا. وللحرب غير المشروعة في أوكرانيا تداعيات عالمية كبيرة ولا سيما في مجال الأمن الغذائي العالمي. وفي ظل هذه الأوقات الصعبة
Under these tense circumstances, we welcome our position to defend the Charter of the United Nations. It is more important than any time before, and I wish to express my appreciation, my true appreciation of Egypt's efforts in the Middle East. We have great concern about the situation in Gaza, and there should be a direct, immediate investigation and a direct achievement of a ceasefire between Hamas and Israel, and to release the hostages. Egypt is playing a major role in this regard. Thank you, Your Excellency, for your leadership of this path. We are one in our call for a peaceful solution, and we need to provide humanitarian aid to the civilians. And peace should be restored in the region. The two-state solution is the only way. Despite all the difficulties about this solution, we need to continue our work to provide that kind of solution. This is the only way for a just peace in the Middle East and stability in the Middle East. Your Excellency, the President, Egypt and Denmark has got a long history in partnership. Because of our strategic partnership, these relations will be stronger and deeper. In a world that witnesses a lot of conflicts and instability, the building of strong partnerships is essential. Thank you very much for this initiative and be here in this dark weather. We know that we will continue working for the benefit of both of our people. The speech is yours. Thank you very much. In the name of Allah, the Merciful, the Compassionate, Your Excellency, Meta Frederiksen, the Prime Minister of Kingdom of Denmark, dear guests, I wish to express my utmost happiness to be in this historical city, Copenhagen, which represents my first visit to North Europe, in a visit that is the first of its kind since the start of the diplomatic relations between the two countries starting June 1, 1922. I cannot miss what I have seen as great hospitality since I arrived at the Kingdom of Denmark, which reflects the civilized nature of Denmark and the keenness for partnership between the two of us, and on the basis of mutual respect and mutual understanding for mutual benefit. Ladies and gentlemen, my meeting with Her Excellency the Prime Minister and the extended discussions with the two delegations, an understanding about upgrading the relations in all levels, economic, political, investment and cultural, in the way that has been crystallized in signing the agreement to heighten our relations to the level of strategic partnership and launching the Egyptian-Danish Business Council and other agreements. I have agreed with Her Excellency the Prime Minister to implement the axes of the joint declaration that will push forward all elements of cooperation between the two countries in all levels, including maritime navigation, agriculture, green ecology, communication, technology, combating the illegal immigration, combating terrorism and combating desertification. I can take this opportunity to express my sincere appreciation of the understanding and the support of Denmark to Egypt to preserve the Egyptian national water security in the current situation that Egypt is suffering. The regional and international issues of mutual concern has been present in our discussions today, including the Palestinian issue. I have reviewed the Egyptian efforts for an immediate ceasefire of the war in Gaza, and I emphasized the collaboration of efforts to save the region from getting into a more devastating and establishing a Palestinian state on the lines of June 4, 1967, and East Jerusalem as its capital to secure peace and stability in the region. We have also tackled the catastrophic humanitarian situation in Gaza, and we emphasized the flow of humanitarian aid smoothly into Gaza. And I have reviewed the efforts on this front, including the ministerial meeting that was in Cairo on December this month, to urge more humanitarian aid to Palestinians in Gaza. We tackled the situation in Lebanon, and we welcomed the ceasefire agreed upon in Lebanon, and we have emphasized that this should be reflected on starting the de-escalation in the region through the full implementation of the UN Security Council Resolution 1701 and enabling the Lebanese army to control all the Lebanese territories. Our discussions also reviewed the latest developments regarding the situation in Syria, Sudan, and the Red Sea security and the Ukrainian crisis. We have matching viewpoints about finding diplomatic solutions to all these crises and respecting the sovereignty of states and its official institutions and combating terrorism in these places. Your Excellency, the Prime Minister, again, I thank you for inviting me to visit the friendly Kingdom of Denmark, and I look forward for welcoming you in Egypt to foster the strong relations between our two countries. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Excellencies. Welcome to...
Thank you. Now we will start the ceremony of signing the strategic partnership between the Arab Republic of Egypt and Denmark, and the Kingdom of Denmark, as well as three memorandums of understanding. I would welcome the Foreign Minister Rasmussen and the Minister of Foreign Trade and Investment, Mr. Mohammed Al Khatib, Hassan Mohammed Al Khatib. Please come to the stage.
Now I would like to invite...
شكرا فخامة رئيس جمهورية.
Thank you, the President of the Arab Republic of Egypt, and thanks the Prime Minister. They are standing behind the two ministers. First, the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding regarding the sectorial cooperation in the field of energy. With this Memorandum of Understanding, Egypt and Denmark are expanding their economic cooperation till 2027 to continue the successful cooperation at the moment regarding the renewable energy, which is started in 2020. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And now there will be the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding regarding cooperation in the field of immigration. And with this Memorandum of Understanding, Egypt and Denmark are committed to fostering their cooperation regarding the governance of immigration and the capacity building in enhancing the procedures for asylum and combating the illegal immigration. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And now, the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding concerning cooperation in the field of training between the Egyptian and Danish academias. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
By this, we come to the end of the signing of the Memorandums of Understanding.
therefore,
أدعو
Now I would like to invite
وزير الخارجية
His Excellency the Foreign Minister Rasmussen
شكرا
to
جزيلا لكم.
leave the stage.
now I invite
والآن
Now Your Excellencies, His Excellency,
صاحب معالي رئاسة الوزراء
His Excellency the President of Egypt and Her Excellency the Prime Minister of Denmark will sign the strategic cooperation between Arab Republic of Egypt and the Kingdom of Denmark.
Thank you.
شكرا.
Thank you.
Thank you.
شكرا
Thank you.
جزيلا. وبهذا يسعدني أن
And by this, I'm delighted to say that there is now a strategic partnership between Egypt and Denmark.
This can
وبهذا
And
نأتي إلى
with
نهاية
this, we come to the end of the signing ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was a live broadcast coverage of President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi's press conference with the Prime Minister of Denmark live at Copenhagen. And now we start our main bulletin. Egypt has denied the claims made by the Wall Street Journal that Egyptian officials urged the Syrian president to leave the country and form a government in exile. Egypt affirms that this information is entirely false and baseless. Also, Egypt calls on all media outlets to verify the accuracy of the information they publish. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to repeat, Egypt has denied the claims made by the Wall Street Journal that Egyptian officials urged the Syrian president to leave the country and form a government in exile. Egypt affirms that this information is entirely false and baseless. Also, Egypt calls on all media outlets to verify the accuracy of the information they publish. And now we begin today's bulletin with the latest developments in Gaza. Twenty-six Palestinians have been killed and more than 60 others injured in Israeli shelling of homes in Al Nusayrat refugee camp in the central Gaza Strip. The official Palestinian news agency Wafa reported that Israeli warplanes targeted a residential building. Some of the victims were later identified and transported to Al-Aqsa Martyrs Hospital in Deir al-Balah, located in the central Gaza Strip. Medical sources reported that the death toll in Gaza since early Friday morning has risen to 63, including 35 victims from northern Gaza. 8 civilians have been killed in the Israeli occupation's bombing of El Karama area located northwest of Gaza City. They added that an occupation drone targeted a group of civilians in Jabalia el-Balad, north of the Gaza Strip, killing 2 and injuring others. 3 civilians were killed in the occupation's bombing of the El Mashrua area east of Rafah, south of the Gaza Strip. The Israeli occupation army has directly targeted an ambulance in front of Kamal Adwan Hospital in Beit Lahia, north of the Gaza Strip. Earlier yesterday, the occupation army withdrew from Kamal Adwan Hospital after an hours-long raid during which it detained staff and patients, forcing those present to leave. The army also compelled an Indonesian medical team, the only one performing surgeries inside the hospital, to evacuate. The United Nations Special Rapporteur on Palestine, Francesca Albanese, has stated that it's time to take the necessary measures and do everything possible to stop the ongoing Israeli brutality in the Gaza Strip. Albanese stressed that Israel is committing war crimes and crimes against humanity in Gaza. She added that what's happening in Gaza cannot be described as just a war, it is total destruction. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has said that the catastrophe in Gaza represents a complete collapse of our humanity. The UN Secretary General stressed the world cannot continue to turn a blind eye to what is happening in the Gaza Strip. He added that this nightmare must stop.
I just spoke with President Erdogan of Turkey to discuss the latest.
The Palestinian Health Ministry said that Israeli occupation forces shot dead a Palestinian at the Kalandeya checkpoint. The Palestinian Red Crescent announced in a statement that its crews had received the body of a Palestinian in his 20s at the Kalandeya checkpoint and were transferring it to the hospital. Violence has surged in the West Bank since the start of the war in Gaza, with almost daily sweeps by Israeli occupation forces involving thousands of arrests and regular gun battles. For more analysis, we now move to Mark in our newsroom.
Thank you very much, Selma. Now, for more analysis on the humanitarian situation in Gaza, we are joined from Palestine by the director of the Medical Relief Association in the Gaza Strip, Bassam Zakut. Thank you very much for being here on Q News. How would you describe the current state of the healthcare system in Gaza?
I believe that we are in the peak of the crisis in the healthcare system. There is a mass destruction, especially now in the north part of the Gaza Strip, where 3 of the functioning and remaining, lastly, operating hospitals are not functioning. The Indonesian team who were working in Indonesian hospital, the 3rd surgical team there, forced to evacuate the hospital towards Gaza. And the Kamal Adwan also forced to evacuate all the patients, and the medical teams were evacuating the hospital there. The remaining is allowed the hospital, which is mainly focused on some surgeries and women in delivery for the labor or pregnant women. This is the remaining. I think there is the mass evacuation of the healthcare system that continued from the beginning of the war is just to stop the resilience and to ensure or put the pressure on the people to leave their places in the north toward Gaza or to other places in Gaza Strip. In the south part of the Gaza Strip, the situation is not much better. There is a complete lack in the human resources, especially the medical doctors, the specialized doctor who can do different surgeries. And there is lack of resources like equipment you need for diagnosis, and or other equipment you need for laboratory analysis or medication itself, even sometimes simple medication for anesthesia. I'm not describing or also the hard situation for a lot of patients with a very specific diseases like chronic diseases or cancer patients who cannot find their medication since a few months ago. Most of their medication not available in the Gaza Strip.
You mentioned the Kamel Adwan Hospital raid and that particularly terrible event. What does it mean for the humanitarian and legal implications of that?
And it's from our understanding that hospitals should be protected by international law from one side, and attacks in the hospital that happened in Gaza, it never happened in any country or in anywhere in the previous years. In Gaza, we are talking about more than 17 hospitals have been destructed or evacuated or not functioning yet from the total 35 hospitals available in Gaza. And it's not only hospitals or buildings. There is a mass detention for doctors, nurses, pharmacists, laboratories, and there is killing inside hospitals for the medical staff, even from the foreigners, and some foreigners who came to help in the Gaza situation. All this should be protected by international law, and there is a different call advocacy appeals where saying about this, to protect the humanitarian people working in the health, because it's not safe working in health and hospitals, and this is affecting the emergency response provided by different organizations, even international organizations who wanted to work in the Gaza Strip. Now they are afraid of the movement inside Gaza Strip because they might be attacked at any time.
And the WHO has warned about the need for medical evacuations. What are the obstacles that prevent that from happening?
WHO is working hardly to do evacuation for critically ill patients that in need for operation or intervention not available in Gaza, and the intervention characterized as a life-saving intervention. And from the appeal they are doing to the Israeli side, the approval rate is from 7 to 9% from the patient in need to be treated abroad. And the only obstacle is the Israeli approval for that. It's fully controlled by the Israeli, and the Israeli need to give the approval so the international organization, the WHO or OCHA, can lead the process to evacuate the patients from Gaza to other different countries. And understanding there is a lot. Sorry.
No, continue.
In my understanding, there is a lot of countries all over the world, they are calling to receive patients from Gaza Strip. Every time we might receive 100 or 100 calls like this from Italy, from Germany, from even USA, and from Egypt, from Jordan, from neighboring countries, Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and all the world want to help the Gaza and the Palestinian health system to stand up again by evacuating their patients, because they understand completely the overwhelming healthcare system in Gaza cannot deal with the critically ill patients.
Well, thank you very much. That was the director of the Medical Relief Association in Gaza Strip, Bassam Zakut. Thank you very much for joining us here on Q News. And it's back to you, Selma.
Thank you so much, Mark, for conducting this interview. Gaza-based health authorities have announced that the death toll from Israeli attacks on the Gaza Strip has climbed to over 44,664, with over 105,976 wounded. Medical reports stated that of those 52 Palestinians were killed and 142 wounded in the latest 24-hour reporting period. Israeli occupation forces have arrested at least 12 Palestinians from various parts of the West Bank overnight, including children and former prisoners. According to the Palestinian Authorities Commission for Detainees and Ex-Detainees Affairs and the Palestinian Prisoner Society, the arrest took place in the governorates of Tulkarm, Nablus, and Ramallah. The raids were accompanied by assaults, threats against the arrestees and their families, as well as widespread destruction and vandalism of homes. Since the beginning of the ongoing Israeli aggression against the Palestinian people in October 2023, more than 11,900 Palestinians have been arrested from the West Bank, including Jerusalem. This concludes our news bulletin for the hour. Don't forget to follow Q News on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok at QNewsEG to stay informed. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for more updates on Q News.